Planning and Infrastructure Expo Conference 2025. Panel 1, Sustainable and Green Healthcare Facility Design. May I request our esteemed panelists to join us on this stage. Moderator of this panel will be Dr. Shivraj Dhaka, Senior Counsellor, CII IGBC. Architect Shamit Manchanda, Chief Healthcare Architect, Manchanda Associates. Dr. Rajiv Jain, Chair SSCETOH and ICOH. Dr. YP Bhatia, Chairman and Managing Director, Astron Healthcare Private Limited. Dr. Malini R. Kapoor, Professor Microbiology, in charge BMWM and Kalyakalp VMMC and SJH. Akash Kaushik, Director, Good Energy, Enough. Now we are starting with our first panel.
So, good morning, everyone. I think we are really privileged to had the previous discussion. The kind of illuminating faces we had, it is very rare to have these faces in some of the conferences. So we are absolutely truly grateful to the organizers for this particular conference and expo, and the kind of experts you have it here for this particular panel discussion. I think we are really honored to have you all here, and it makes sense to have a good diversity in your profiles. We have architects, we have people who had joined some of the services in healthcare in 1981. So it is almost like 35-40 years of experience you are carrying here. But let me tell you, this group is having total number of years of experience. Can you please guess how many years of experience this group has? Because mostly, except Akash or myself, okay, I think we took birth after they started their journey in the healthcare. So we are really grateful to you, all of you, absolutely, for this panel discussion. And the kind of diversity I already mentioned we have, it is really great, because this diversity will help us to understand different dimension of the healthcare. But without taking much time, because madam has to leave at 11, it is already 11 at madam. Yeah. So we'll have this panel will have a certain process. We will have half minute to 1 minute introduction from each of the panelists in their way, because if we introduce, I think it has less meaning compared to what we listen from them, having 30, 40, 45 plus years of experience from them. So I would request from the madam onwards to introduce. Please try to take half minute to 1 minute, your experience, your areas of expertise, and how you can contribute to this panel discussion.
I hope I'm audible. Yeah, I'm Dr. Malini Kapoor. I'm professor at microbiology, taking care of biomedical waste and Kayakalp program of Government of India, and I'm also on the expert committee of Ministry of Environment, Ministry of Health, and Central Pollution Control Board for drafting of and formulation of biomedical waste rules and guidelines, its implementation, the immunization waste guidelines. And I'm also one of the authors in the WHO report on COVID waste, and I look the same portfolio in DBT and DST also. Thank you.
Thank you. So if you have any problem, any clarification with regard to some of the compliances, some of the guidelines from government, specifically the Central Pollution Control Board or the MOEF, madam is here to respond you. And any of the doubts which you had till now, I think it's the best time to have clarification. Over to you, sir, please.
I think I introduced myself over this thing. Of course, I can call myself an army veteran as well as a healthcare veteran both. And, more than 40 years, 4 decades of what I have been doing. My passion has been hospital planning, healthcare quality, have been involved with the establishment of NABH, was on advisory council of JCI for good 12 years, served on the the American Society for Quality Healthcare Division as the International Counsellor for about 15 years, and have established about 64 hospitals and medical schools by now. Presently, also I am the chairman of Venkateshwar Hospital, Dhaka, and I run a hospital consultancy firm with the name Astron. I think this is very brief, but along with that, I am the chairman of Academic Council of IHMR. I also teach in University of Oslo and corporate governance in healthcare organization and continuous healthcare quality, in addition to being faculty in number of institutions across the country. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. I think we are very delighted to have you, and great to have discussions. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, I'm Dr. Rajiv Kumar Jain. I'm a pediatrician and a postgraduate in hospital administration with MD and DNB. I have worked in the Indian Railways healthcare system for more than 40 years. And I've had exposure to hospital planning, infrastructure planning, and intersectoral coordination. Presently, I'm holding the position of chair of the Scientific Committee on Education and Training in the International Commission on Occupational Health, which is the oldest professional body based in Italy on occupational health, with official relation with the World Health Organization and International Labour Organization. In addition, I've had extensive experience in hospital administration. I've been Director Academics Research and Training in Academy of Hospital Administration. I've been Editor of Journal of Hospital Administration for more than 10 years. And of course, the work that we have done, more than anything else, is more important. The work on the ground, as Dr. Bhatia was telling, whatever we do is peripheral to the focus of our work remains how we impact lives. If we are able to make the lives better, then we are doing right. If we are not able to make the life better, we are not doing right. So continuous effort had been in changing and impacting a large number of people's lives across our country and across the world. Thank you.
So thank you, Jain Sahab. I think we would have some of the things from you with regard to accreditation, certification, and which is making the healthcare sector to further get more and more improvement over the years. Over to you, sir.
Good morning, everybody. I am architect Shamit Manchanda, a 1989 graduate from the School of Planning and Architecture. I represent a firm called Manchanda Associates. We do healthcare projects only, and some of the projects that we've done are the 500-bedded super specialty block at the Nizam Shura Medical Sciences, Medanta Ganganagar. At present, we are doing 2 district hospitals, one 500, one 300-bedded hospital in Sikkim, orthopedic block in Srinagar, part of the Srinagar Government Medical College, and many private hospitals also.
Thank you, Architect Saab. It is always better to have architects because they design the hospitals. Then we experience different perception in the hospitals, and the kind of design aspects we consider today in green healthcare, the kind of measures we incorporate in sustainability aspects of green healthcare, it is immense, and their role is extraordinary in healthcare. Over to you, Akash.
Very morning, everyone. Myself, Akash Kaushik, Founder Director, Good Enough Energy. We are India's largest factory for battery energy storage system. For those who don't know what is BESS, it's something which works for renewable energy. Renewable energies cannot sustain without battery energy storage systems. Certainly, I am an aerospace engineer who have studied in UK, France, and Sweden, and I have been doing batteries since last 13 years, and we are the largest battery manufacturer for BESS in India.
Thank you, Akash. So we would try to have a couple of round of questions to all the panel members. But since Madam is in hurry, we would like to ask her stories in her language, how compliances are important for green healthcare, and because healthcare gives life to everyone, life to patient, life to staff, and how it enhances the capital of human resources. Can you please elaborate that?
Yeah, I would like to highlight here, we have Ministry of Environment, that is the nodal ministry, and under that is nodal agency, that is Central Pollution Control Board. And in India, we are lucky to have an environmental code, that is National Green Tribunal, which controls all the environmental compliances by all the ministries and takes care of the rules, regulations, whether any modification is required or not. Very few countries across the world have this environmental code. And then we have the implementation aspect of the rules and guidelines, which is being looked after by Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Means all the hospitals are under Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. So if you look at, Government of India is a signatory to Sustainable Developmental Goals, waste management, water, sanitation, they are important sustainable developmental goals. And also, waste management is an important neglected public health issue worldwide. In India, we were already having sustainable practices, but we aped the West in the 80s and 90s. So we have to de-learn now those practices which we aped from the West and go back to our sustainable practices. Then Government of India is also signatory to no open burning, that is to decrease the dioxins and furans, that is Stockholm Convention. So we need to have sustainable technologies, and very least amount of waste should go for burning, that is yellow category. So each rule and guidelines which are drafted or amended, which come up every year, is focused on decreasing the yellow category of waste. So that's very important. And then the principle is of circular economy, that is no waste gets accumulated on earth. So only yellow category goes for incineration, whether it's red, that is the infected plastics, or blue, that is the glass, or white, that is the sharp, is again recycled after we give it to the State Pollution Control Board authorized common facility operator, and where it is treated, and again it is recycled not as medical product but a product of use. So that's the whole idea of whatever rules and guidelines which come up.
So madam, you covered very important points with regard to type of waste, their coloring, and how it has a relation with the circularity. So circularity is going very well all across the globe. If you type something on Google, you find circularity a best item to look today.
And Government of India has given direction to all the ministries, not only Ministry of Health or Environment, to have the circular economy principle in mind, whatever policies and guidelines they draft here. And luckily today also in ministry we have a high level meeting on Kayakal, that is nothing but infection control, waste management, sanitation. It's a Government of India program, so they also review time to time, and
Yeah, so can you also please highlight where we are heading today, what kind of past we had, what kind of learning we had with regard to waste management?
Definitely. So if you look at, if everybody remembers about the Bhopal gas tragedy, it happened in 1984, so many lives lost, so many, hazardous waste accumulated on earth, and Warren Anderson was able to run off from the country because there was not even a single rule and regulation. He was able to run off, and that's why came up 1986 Environment Protection Act, then radioactive waste rules, and then we got the biomedical waste rules. But in those biomedical waste management rules of 1998, there were, 10 categories, lot of confusion, implementation issues were there, duties of occupier, that is the hospital, common facility operators were not documented. So Government of India came up in 2016 biomedical waste management rules and their amendments, and the CPCB guidelines thereafter in 2022, which cover the principle of circular economy, WHO core principle, which is modified as per the Viksit Bharat, what we are emphasizing for ourselves here. Thank you.
So we will not allow you to go early.
Yeah.
We have one more question for you, madam. So when you understand, pollution control board will have close monitoring of all the large hospitals.
Yeah.
But India health system, large hospital, they have to have like consent to operate, consent to establish, right? But operational will have renewal every year, year on year.
Yeah.
But for small hospital, it is once in lifetime. They have to register, and then we don't need to.
Yes, it depends whether it's bedded or non-bedded. And if you're a non-bedded facility, then it's once in a lifetime. And now the bedded ones need to have ETP, STP also. And if you look at, these guidelines, whether it's a private single doctor clinic or whether it's a primary health center or a secondary health center or district hospital or a tertiary care, government medical college, government or a private college, these rules and guidelines, they adapt to all and they have to be implemented, because if you look at the COVID vaccination which Government of India undertook, it had primary health centers also in mind, district hospitals also, medical colleges in mind, and in those immunization waste guidelines, it has been documented how a PHC should implement the waste management guidelines and how a district hospital should. So there all the policies are drafted, whether if you are PHC, if you are not connected with a common facility operator, how should you be doing waste management, because India is a heterogeneous country. You look at geographic diversity, you have Siachen also, you have Northeast where the common facility operators are not there. So if you look at the immunization waste guidelines, it not only covers immunization waste, but it also covers if your PHC is not connected to a common facility operator or district hospital is in an outreach or the remote location, how do you manage waste? So if everything is done up, yeah, okay.
Yes, it is really important to hear that. But many a time what happens, you quantify which is more and more making economic sense for you. Suppose you try to use the energy,
Yeah.
but when it comes to waste, no one is going to monitor it. There is no monitoring.
But day by day, Government of India is getting, stricter. Barcode is there. CPCB is monitoring the State Pollution Control Board. State Pollution Control Board through barcoding is monitoring. So NGT is also, we are from government institute like AIMS, Safdarjung. So whenever these guidelines come up, NGT is the first one to visit us, takes our inputs, and day by day you will see stricter norms. And also it's not only biomedical waste management rules implementation is important, it is also important the implementation of other rules, solid waste management, e-waste management, which are again collated with the biomedical waste, because all these automated equipments, whether it's the ultrasound machine or CT scan, they're nothing but e-waste only. So COVID was a big eye-opener that if you do not have solid waste management rules, anything and everything touched by the COVID patient is dumped as biomedical waste. I am sure everybody, even a Bisleri bottle a COVID patient touched, it was dumped as biomedical waste, which was absolutely wrong. It is solid waste, it's not a category A virus. So COVID was an eye-opener which showed Government of India, everybody, municipalities, see, government has drafted rules. It is, Jan Bhagidari, what do you call it, or everybody's participation, not only the government organizations, the common man's participation, the municipal body's participation, that implementation of other rules is also important. It is not only ki biomedical waste aapne hospital mein kar diye. I mean, across municipalities, solid waste management rules should be implemented. Yeah.
So I think you made very great point, like participation of everyone.
All the stakeholders, whether inside the hospital, outside pollution control board, the pharmaceutical industry, the households, the municipality, the research center.
Yeah.
It is a teamwork of all. It's not only a government's job to draft. Implementation at all level is important. Yeah,
thank you very much, madam. Anyone would like to ask one question with Malini madam? Okay, no worries. Yeah, please go ahead.
Thank you. I'll leave. We have meeting. Yeah.
Thank you, panel. May I now request Mr. Afzal Kamal to facilitate the panel.
Since madam is leaving, we would like to facilitate her and then we continue our panel discussion. Yeah, please.
May I now request Mr. Afzal Kamal to facilitate the panel. Now we have Dr. Malini R. Kapoor, Professor Microbiology, in charge BMWM and Kalyakalp BMMC and SJH. Give them a big round of applause, everyone. So there is a little change of plan, everyone. We are going to continue with the panel now. Ma'am has some work, so we facilitated her. Now we are continuing with the panel now.
Okay, fine. So now since the topic of this panel is design, sustainable and green healthcare, and design would always be done by architect. So we will directly come to Architect Shah to share his knowledge about what are the design practices which by default make hospitals or healthcare facilities green and more so sustainable. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, everybody. Green and sustainable architecture, it's a very important topic for all architects. As good architects, most people design green buildings, but they don't quantify them, they don't rate them. So the concept of having rating systems has become very important, not only for achieving a certain goal, but also to quantify how green your building is. So in terms of concepts of green design, and especially in healthcare, it becomes very important to know what green design is. Green is basically keeping the environment in mind and how you use your sustainable resources, sustainable sources of energy, so that the environment does not get affected. What makes healthcare green is, addition to this, you talk about infection control, better healing environment, and an overall lesser stay for the patients. IGBC is one rating agency which has a specific category for green healthcare. You have many rating agencies like Griha, LEED, and other agencies, BREEAM. But IGBC has come out with a green healthcare rating system, which makes it more suitable for green, quantifying what green healthcare architecture is. I'll just read out a list, what it talks about. So under IGBC,
Just keep the mic.
Under IGBC, you have certain categories which talks about indoor environmental quality and well-being, sanitation and hygiene. Dr. Malini Kapoor talked about waste management, energy efficiency, water conservation, site selection and planning, building material and resources, and innovation in design process. Under these, the indoor environmental quality is something which is very important, which talks about natural ventilation, natural lighting, connect to nature, healing gardens, natural response to color, basically color psychology, acoustics, spaces for stress relief, natural odor and indoor pollutant control, and environmental monitoring. So when we talk about concepts, you start at the basic design, which talks about passive measures which can be taken. You can talk about orientation of the building. You can talk about envelope control. You can talk about natural daylighting coming into the building, which becomes very important. Now imagine a room which has no ventilation or no natural light coming into the room. The patient's circadian rhythm goes out of sync. Natural views to the outside have proven that the healing periods are much faster. Acoustic control helps in reducing stress levels. Natural ventilation is anyway very important. There was a project that was designed as a very large floor plate, but no light and ventilation coming in. And it was in a fairly rural part of India, and where electricity was a problem, and there used to be power cuts of 8 hours, 10 hours, and even the DG sets would fail. So it was almost impossible to enter those buildings with no natural light and ventilation coming in. So these are some of the
Shamit sir,
concepts.
I will just interrupt you here. You just mentioned very important point with regard to daylighting, indoor environment quality, water conservation. There are several points about it. But since you made these points, we will also go to Bhatia sir about it. Okay, when it comes to design and operation of healthcare, you have been a pivotal person in managing the accreditation of these hospitals. So what do you think, like how these designs can easily achieve NABH certification, so the NABH certification or JCI or maybe some of the green healthcare certifications?
No, I think, there has been a lot of talk about the sustainable, healthcare scenario, what we are talking about. And a lot of stress is being, actually put across on the rating, platinum rating and gold rating and, all those kind of things. When I was involved with NABH, setting of the NABH on JCI, I used to say that are we looking for a plaque on the wall, or are we looking for the actual practice of the quality? Now, that's exactly what I question now also, that, any hospital building or anything which we are planning, हम स्टैंडर्ड साथ में रख लेते हैं, इतने मार्क्स इसमें मिल जाएंगे, इतने इसमें मिल जाएंगे, इतने इसमें मिल जाएंगे, अब 80 क्रॉस कर जाएगा, अब हमारा गोल्ड हो जाएगा, अब हमारा प्लेटिनम हो जाएगा. What we need is right from the point one. Shamit is a very experienced architect over here. We have Professor Diwan sitting over here, who's been the professor of architecture at SPA. While we look at the functionality of the hospital, 40% of the hospital works only from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. OPDs, administrative blocks, most of the operation theaters, most of the laboratory function except the emergency function. None of the standard talks about that, because rest of the time, this area doesn't require air conditioning, doesn't require lighting, doesn't require housekeeping services, doesn't require so many things. So none of the standards looks at the design part of it that has designed anything to contribute to that. So, somewhere down the line, the functionality of the design, we keep on teaching design follows function. But has that functionality been taken into account while that? And at the same time, let us look at it that to get the certificate on the wall is important. Yes, it is a recognition.
But practice
to
is more
move toward
important.
that, to attain the objective and the the optimization
Sir,
of
we will
health
come back.
is something.
Sir,
which
you
we
have
need
made
to
very,
look
very
into.
fantastic points with regard to what is more important for us. It is not only the guidelines, not only the certification, but we need to improvise, we need to provide better health for everyone.
Absolutely.
Better practices within the healthcare. So now, sir has immense expertise in occupational health. So please try to tell a small story of occupational health in healthcare.
Yeah. When we talk of sustainability in healthcare, we forget that it's a living building that we are talking about. It's not a dead building. And who are the people who make it alive? It is the healthcare workers. Without the healthcare workers, no healthcare facility can ever function. As you know, we all understand that there is a whole lot of various skills that the healthcare professionals bring to a healthcare facility. It is through the combined effort of these variously skilled individuals that the team of healthcare delivers healthcare as is required by the patient. Now, if that is so, when we design a building, do we keep the occupational health, the occupational safety, and its linkage with the environment on an ongoing, sustainable basis, ensuring that at all times, the work, processes, and products, including the environment they are working in. An environment does not mean the building only. It means air, water, earth, and whatever materials these healthcare personnel use in their day-to-day activities.
Jain
The
sahab.
sum total of these determine the sustainability. When we design a facility, it has to be integral to the functionality and the way the various healthcare professionals are going to work. And is there a system to monitor whether these healthcare professionals are safe? They are not being exposed to organisms, they're not being exposed to materials and carcinogens which affect their long-term health. I think that is the core function that we need to bring at this point of discussion on sustainability in healthcare. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Your points are really much relevant to healthcare, about the health and well-being of people there and the key parameters which affect all these. So now we come to Mr. Akash, who has sound background in energy efficiency, and energy efficiency is a critical infra for every hospital, every healthcare facility. So Akash, can you please elaborate what kind of sustainable practices which are very prominent today with regard to either new hospital or existing hospital to make them more sustainable?
So if you all know about Fortis Greater Noida and Arihant Gurgaon, so they are using a BESS system while replacing a diesel generator. So when you replace diesel generator with BESS, you are saving people, planet, and you are making profit as well. We can cut down your energy backup cost by 40% while using our BESS system. More or less, when you use our system, your fuel operating cost cut down, the diesel become digital. Rather than using the fossil fuels, you use energy coming from renewable energy. The per unit cost of 30 rupees of diesel generator comes down to somewhere like 7 to 8 rupees. When you accumulate it over the year, within 3 years, you get the ROI of the system. If you need to know more details, we are having a display over here. We know we are short with time here on the panel. So you all are invited to visit our stall and inspect the product and get more details. Whereas this product is first of its own kind, coming with 25 years of service life and 10 years of warranty. And this is being used everywhere in the world. You see it in UK, US, Rotterdam. People have been replacing diesel generator with BESS system. So to become modern and advanced, sustainable, everyone has to remove fossils consumption. It's not only, Mr. Shamit was talking about the IGBC guidelines of energy efficiency, energy recovery, and using renewable. That can only be possible when you are using battery energy storage system.
Thank you, Akash. As we understand, today's environment needs a holistic, integrated approach for renewable energy, to grid energy, to battery energy storage, BES system, battery energy storage system. So you can visit his stall, you can have more clarification about all these things. Our time is already over. We had some penalty because first session got started a little late. So I will request all the panel members to speak about 30 seconds and give key learning from your vast background you have. Over to you, sir. Please take 30 seconds and give a very interesting experience to all.
No, I think I summed up in my earlier say also that let it not be the certificate on the wall. Let it deliver what the objective of the whole thought is. Because at the end of the day, I would say 90% of the institutions, they are doing it for the inspection and for the certificate, not for deliverance of what is required to be done. Let us adopt those practices to make it happen. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
My take is the occupational health, safety and environment have to be integrated in design and working of all healthcare facilities. Without that, we could never achieve healthcare for all. All healthcare for all should include the healthcare of the healthcare workers and how their long-term sustainability as a live human being is assured. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Architect, sir.
I would like to assure Dr. Bhatia that when we design hospitals, there is a saying in architecture, function follows form or form follows function. And for hospitals, it can never be the function follows form. The function is most important. So the form of the building, the shape of the building, the building that you create is always based on the function of the hospital. That is of primary importance. There can be no two ways about it. And in COVID, we learned infection follows, form follows infection. So infection control became something which is very important during the COVID times. And to be assured, in hospital planning, it is always function follows form. So you never sacrifice on the functionality of the building. The additional things when we talk about green, sustainability, a plaque on the wall, those are additional things to help achieve other goals, but you never sacrifice the function of the hospital.
Great, sir. Thank you. Akash, please only take 30 seconds. We have hard stop now.
I have already taken very short time at last. Anyway, so my take is very simple. We all have been thinking about sustainability and renewable in a different sense. Like we are taking care of planet. All these things seems very boring to everyone until you save some money. Yeah. So our system is not only sustainable, it gives you profitability also along with that. Whereas it's a concern of national security. When we import lots of fossil fuels, we every year do $10 billion of forex. And this creates a huge impact on our economy, and diesel generators are major source of that, which creates pollution and 7% GDP toll on the healthcare. So just to recover that, you always think of how to replace your diesel generators with battery energy storage system.
Thank you very much. If you have any question, clarification, we would be off the dice. Please try to have with our eminent panelists. And please have a big round of applause for their contribution. Over to you, please.
Thank you, panel, for the insightful session. May I now request Mr. Afzal Kamal to facilitate our panel. We have Dr. Shivraj Dhaka, Senior Counsellor, CII, IGBC. Give them a huge round of applause, everyone. Architect Shamit Manchanda, Chief Healthcare Architect, Manchanda Associates. Dr. Rajiv Kumar Jain, Chair SSCETOH and ICOH. Dr. YP Bhatia, Chairman and Managing Director, Astron Healthcare Private Limited. Give them a big round of applause, everyone. Akash Kaushik, Director, Good Enough Energy. It's time for a group photograph. I request everyone to be seated.